Nice. Every time it says please stand by, I just think of the Outer Limits. The Outer Limits. Please stand by. Was that Tony J?
Who?
Tony J?
No. Couldn't have been Tony J.
The Outer Limits? The intro?
Surely not.
No. It must have been Tony J. Hold on, I need to look that up.
Well, no, we gotta start now.
Oh, because we're...
Yeah.
Oh. Check the camera. Scroll up. I know we're only getting part of the video there. Oh, okay.
That's what else.
Let me scooch over a little bit. Perfect.
Welcome to Jake and Trev Live. Welcome. It's a good show.
I'm Jake.
I'm Trev.
Oh, neither of us beat either of us to the punch.
No, that was the least competitive Jake and Trev review everything introduction I've ever seen. And surely you as well. Welcome to week 77. Here you are, you're joining us.
Yeah.
Surely you're here alive, as the majority of the world population watches Jake and Trev live.
That's true.
But if
lucky number 77.
But if you're an outlier, if you're a statistical anomaly, if you are in the thin minority of people who are not watching us right now live, Wednesday night, 10:05. That's when the show is. Tonight, we had a little technical difficulties getting up and running. My apologies for that. Let us know in the comments here how you are experiencing, the Jake and Trev broadcast.
The Jake and Trev experience.
Right now, we've switched around some positions of some things. My router died. I'm going to be honest, my router died. It was an N600, up to 600 megabits of megabits transferred at once. Not that anyone I know has a internet connection of that kind of speed, but this one seems to have a few hiccups. The replacement I got, but it was free. So what are you going to do? What do you want for free? A rubber biscuit?
Rubber balls and liquor.
No, you ever heard that song?
No.
It's a Blues Brothers song.
Oh yeah. Oh,
so what do you want for nothing? A rubber biscuit.
Oh yeah.
But hopefully,
you throw a biscuit against the wall, and you hope that it
bounces back.
Yeah, I know.
Ooh, Baba. Ooh. Yeah, okay. So hopefully, this is coming in to you guys clear. If it's not, we'll see if we can do anything at all. Allegedly, I got a hard wire here, so this ought to be more than enough for what's going on. I don't think some Cat 5 cables are less fast than others. Is that correct, Jake? Do you know such things?
No, the cables move just as fast as they're supposed to.
That's what I mean. So surely everything's just fine. But here in week 77, things are moving along. I'm sure you've seen my show, The Short Council. We've been running it here concordantly with the releases of episodes of Game of Thrones. What a mighty season it's been. I've got a huge episode. Normally I do about a 20-minute episode. We record for about 30 minutes, right? This one we recorded for, I want to say, 48 minutes.
Damn.
There was just so much to talk about, and we got into some deep cuts. So this next one is really going to be for the fans of the Game of Thrones. This one's going to have some deep cuts, some theories, some rampant speculation into what things are and what things
wild
mean.
Speculation.
It's going to be wild.
Okay,
but you guys are going to love it.
Yes, so watch that.
It's going to be coming shortly.
I need to address Trevor. I said earlier, before we started the live show, that Tony J was the... apparently, they're the narrators on both Outer Limits series, the original black and white, and then the revamp in the 1995. They were called the Control Voice.
Oh, yes.
Which I'd like to point out is badass in its own right.
Sure.
But I presuppose that
maybe he didn't.
The Control Voice in the 1995 series was Tony J. It was not Tony J.
He's a prolific voice actor, for those of you who don't know.
But for those playing along at home, I'll give you a minute. It's not Tony J, but it is this person. Can you guess who it was?
Wow, who would have done the voice instead of Tony J that Jake would have confused for Tony J? There are really, literally very few actors or voice actors who... I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to go ask prolific voice actor Maurice LaMarche. I'm going to guess it's Maurice LaMarche. I'm probably wrong. Well, geez, Jake, you know...
So, I'm sorry.
Why did you just say it like that?
Nope.
Nope. Don't even leave any room for, thinking maybe it might be. Was it Tim Curry? Tim Curry is a good replacement for...
You know Tim Curry, though. You know his voice. It could not be Tim Curry.
Well, evidently you don't know Tony J's voice, Jake Silvas.
Well, it's been a long time. Tony J was in, the Gargoyles. Wasn't he in Gargoyles?
Oh, sure.
Tony J's been in a bunch of stuff that I don't know about.
All right. I mean, guys, can we... Well,
just pull up Tony J's IMDb.
Hold on. I just want to address this.
Okay.
This is week 77. I think the jig is up. This isn't really a news show, so to speak, as...
It's a discussion show. It's always been a discussion show.
It's a discussion show. We've maintained
We try to discuss new things.
And entertainment things.
But if you pick a random episode, we probably talk about old things.
Oh, yeah.
Or comparing old things to new things.
Sure. All this is true. I'm going to go to IMDb.
Rampant speculation. That's another thing that we do. I know we were talking about that with Game of Thrones. We do that on this show, too.
We're going to go to the IMDb page for Tony J. This Tony J?
Yes, that Tony J.
Probably.
It's got to be the top Tony J.
Surely.
Yeah, that's totally him. That's the guy.
And then we're gonna.
Is there a button for that?
Probably Control V or Control Plus, probably.
No, not Control V.
Control Plus. Tony J was born in blah 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 blah. Who cares? Okay, so
he's old as fuck.
He was a voice in Beauty and the Beast, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Treasure Planet.
He was in Twins.
He was in the movie Twins. He didn't do a voice in the movie Twins.
Yeah.
He is.
Wait, is he dead?
He is no more. Died in 2006.
What?
It's a shame.
That sucks.
It's a shame because he had...
I didn't even know about that. Yeah. He did the documentary for H.H. Holmes. I gotta say, that's one of my favorite scary documentaries.
That was a really... And his voice lended so much to it.
Absolutely.
X-Men Legends. He was Magneto in X-Men Legends?
Awesome.
Oh, that would have been tight. I gotta go get that game now.
That's a good one. The Marvel Legends series was pretty good. I enjoyed it for the most part.
Let's see.
I know not a lot of people like the second one, but I like that one too. It had Deadpool in it, though. Actually, the first one had Deadpool in it. I think there was more
Dr. Lipschitz in the Rugrats TV series.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I think we should dedicate episode 77 to Tony J.
Oh, of course. Keira Kennedy. He was the voice of Megabyte in Reboot.
Yeah.
Oh, man. He already got us.
We just went to the chat right now. Kira says he also voiced Megabyte in a little no Canadian-made animated TV show called Reboot.
Reboot's pretty popular with a lot of people my age and younger. It had a little run on. It had a run on Toonami.
Yeah, Reboot, as it's known in Canada, the American version is called Rebut.
That is not true. That is...
Or I'm sorry, Rebout?
Rebout.
In Canada, it's known as Reboot.
Rebout. Yeah, that works.
Hey, have you seen a Reboot?
That's delicious. Kevin Conway was the control voice in the 95 series.
Yep. No, it's Kevin Conway.
Kevin Conway.
Not Kevin Conroy, who's the voice of Batman.
He's one of my favorites. I could. Oh man, I hope I get to meet him at a convention someday.
That would be great. Can you imagine?
You are still the voice of Batman to me forever.
I love you.
Can I hold your hand? And then he's like, "Whoa."
Just for a second,
maybe.
Man.
All right. He's used to it. He's Kevin Conroy. He gets this all the time.
Can you picture Kevin Conroy being like, "I can do that for you, Trev."
No. I remember there was this like for some reason one of the Batman lines that sticks in my head was from the episode where I think it was the episode that debuted Scarecrow, and Batman gets the gas, right? Mm-hmm. And he sees like this giant head, his father's head, like giant and like all spectral, and he's like, "You failed us, son. You are such a disappointment to me." God. And Batman's like, "No," like in that Batman voice.
So like a no. Fighters like a place. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he said it was really humbling because, all these firefighters and police officers that were out there like saving lives on 9/11 came in and they were like, "You're fucking Batman, like you're my hero, dude." Yeah. And he's like, "You guys are the heroes, like we're doing all the fucking hero work."
Classic. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. What was it called? I don't remember.
Victor. By the way, that's another. I'm on a voice actor thing now because we mentioned it, so I'm looking at another really epic voiced guy that I wanted to check out here.
Is this is
Bravest Warriors.
Bravest Warrior,
and it's Victor Caroli.
Oh, the paralyzed horse.
Paralyzed horse from Bravest Warriors. Victor Caroli's got an amazing voice as well. He did a bunch of like Transformers voices back in the day. He's done a few things, but like it's one of those voices that when you hear it, you're like, oh yeah.
Ooh, here's a recent thing that we can talk about really quick. Let's segue this into video games, then we can talk about the elephant in the room,
sure.
The post-nuclear war elephant. Scroll up.
Hold on.
Because Victor Caroli was in the. Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Hold on. I forgot it. I was trying to remember it. He did a voice in DC Online. It's up further. But I remembered it. DC Universe Online. It was in beta for a year. Mm-hmm. It just got released less than a year ago. I believe they started off as a pay per month, and then they went free to play. Mm-hmm. Just this month, they announced that they're shutting their servers down. The game's over.
Did it ever leave beta?
Yeah. Like I said, it left beta for like less than a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Not enough interest in DC Online. It's a real bummer. Apparently, my little brother plays it online, and he got a kick out of it. But yeah, I guess they're shutting it down, which is kind of a huge bummer. But I don't know. You're more into MMOs than I am, and not like the RPG MMOs, which isn't to say a whole lot because pretty much all you play is DayZ. But like,
well, I had played World of Warcraft for a month.
Okay, your free month.
Yeah, my free month. I think I may have gotten a second month, but I petered out in the second month.
Okay,
I got a really good high level character, and I was like, man, to get from 68 to 69 is just.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, okay.
It's a Skinner box. It's a big old digital Skinner box. I think that's the reason I don't play World of Warcraft or never. I have played it. I had an ex-girlfriend who had an account. I played a couple characters on there to like level 10 or something, which really isn't that much. You could do that in like a couple hours, but
sure.
It wasn't that interesting to me. It seemed like there were a lot of nuances and stuff that might have been interesting, but
as the person here who's more into MMORPGs,
yeah. How do you? What do you think? Like, if somebody came up to you and was like, "Why did DC Universe Online shut down?" If you had to guess, like I said, complete speculation. Without knowing anything.
Well, I guess without knowing really anything, let me wildly speculate and say that they had a difficult time really engaging people. Okay. Because here's the thing: is like, if you're gonna play in this DC universe, like you want to be like the heroes, and I'm guessing that you didn't play. Like as the actual heroes.
No, you do.
You play as the Flash and shit?
I'm pretty don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure you do. Same as the Marvel Universe one. There's a Marvel online. Let me check that.
Find out, because I need to find out, because if you cannot, like, if you play as the DC heroes, then that's weird too, because how do you play online? Like, do you show up for an event, and if you're the first one there, that's the Flash, nobody else can be the Flash? Or do you show up and there are multiple Flashes all there?
I know in the Marvel one.
That would make sense, because it's the Flash, but...
I know in the Marvel one you can play as any character, and... so it would just be like if you were on a quest or something, because it's an MMO, you would be in the room with a bunch of other people. And I remember reading a Cracked article where somebody was describing, like, how weird it was to sit in a room as the Hulk with a bunch of other Hulks waiting there.
Yeah.
Like, apparently that's how the Marvel one is. Character creation. Oh, the character creates a new original hero. Yeah, so it's like City of Heroes. It's
I mean, that's the thing, is that, there's certainly a draw to wanting to be the hero, but I think that especially in the sense of like the more mythic scale characters of the DC universe, that you'd really want to be them rather than say play as some new schmull who like runs into Superman says to you that, oh, well, you don't have a lot of reputation, but I think you have a good heart, kid, and I'm willing to give you a chance. Let's save the day. It's like, well, Superman, I mean, you can save the day by yourself. You don't really,
you don't really
need me.
Well, and then that kind of brings up the issue of being able to play as DC characters, because, I mean, even if you could play as a member of the Justice League, they probably wouldn't let you play as Superman.
That's the other thing.
I mean, imagine... here's the problem.
Balancing seems like it would be an issue.
Yeah, like if you roll in at like level 1 and like fight like a bunch of level 10 thugs and they beat the shit out of Superman and he loses, it's like, I don't buy it. Like, I don't buy that. And you don't want on one hand, you don't want characters rolling around, like player characters rolling around as, superhuman, Kryptonian powered laser, heat breath, and ice breath.
Guess number 2. It had too much tangential stuff kind of locked up into it with their universe, and it had too much resources in like the Warner Brothers video game division or what have you.
Do you think they just didn't have enough resources to do it?
I think that they're going to shift focus now to trying to do something tied in with the cinematic universe they're trying to create.
I could see that.
I think they're going to double down. I think they're going to say, hey, we really got to put a big focus on this. I'd be really... You know what? Here's a smart move. You ready? Mm-hmm. You ready for this shit?
Mm-hmm.
DC.
Okay.
Here's a free idea. It's going to blow everyone's minds. Get in on this right now.
Okay.
The TV shows, the successful ones, Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, it's in the same universe.
They'll never do it.
No, stop. Hold on. Don't dismiss it outright, okay. DC. Don't be Jake and dismiss that outright.
No, I'm being DC, though. Right. I'm being Warner Brothers.
Right, okay, Warner Brothers. Don't dismiss it outright. Think about it for a second. You have a number of ideas that are already tied up, I guess, but you really saved most of the good characters and so forth, like, off to the side. You don't have any of Superman or Batman's villains really tied up. I guess now because of Arrow, you already have an identity for like Ra's al Ghul and his fucking deal. But it would show that you are really committed to making this work. It would give you a great deal of of stuff to work with. You could basically have the events of Man of Steel take place at the beginning of next season of the Flash and everything. So imagine when the Flash and Green Arrow come back for their next seasons, the very first episodes deal with a bunch of stuff, but then wow, there's also this Kryptonian thing going on. So they tie them all in there. So, and I think that because the Flash and the Arrow take so much place in their own little areas, that it wouldn't really be that hard to make. I don't think you'd have to even change anything that's already written to accommodate it.
Well,
and it would make people. It would save them the confusion because, guys, people are going to have a problem with there being a TV show Flash and a movie Flash. People are going to have a problem. Well, I think I'm really being too optimistic. I don't think there's going to be a movie Green Arrow. I don't think there's going to be...
See, Warner Brothers is going to keep repeating their mistakes. Here's the thing. We already dealt with this about 10 years ago because Smallville was on the air, and we were like, Tom Welling has to be in the new Superman movie, in Superman Returns. Mm-hmm. Like, it was... before, like, when they announced the movie, at least, it was like, Tom Welling... he's going to be Superman. They're going to segue him out of... They had already, at that point, got him out of Smallville. He was living in Metropolis at the time. Mm-hmm. And it totally would have made sense. Instead, they got Brandon Routh for a terrible Superman movie. And on top of that, Tom Welling was in The Fog. So he didn't even get, like, a cool
Ipso
movie.
facto.
Or the remake. Here's the thing. This is how I picture DC and Marvel. DC is to Marvel, Blockbuster is to Netflix.
Wow.
Do you see it? Because in the beginning, Netflix came out, and Netflix was basically doing the same thing.
Coffee to digest that idea.
Yeah. When Netflix came out, and I'm talking about the movie universes, not the actual companies or the everything under that sigil, DC and Marvel films. So, DC is the blockbuster. They're used to doing, we did it first. We were the best at it. We had our Batmans up through from the 80s to the 90s. We had this and that and the other thing. We had the adventures of, or Lois and Clark, the adventures of Superman. We know how to do stuff with our properties. And then Netflix came out, and Netflix was doing the same thing Blockbuster was doing, but they were doing it through the mail. And they also weren't charging late fees or doing anything like that. Like, they would have, like, replacement fees if you didn't return the discs or whatever. But they were a lot more lenient than Blockbuster was. So they were getting more done. So, but then Netflix moved into the online, where it was like, people's internets are getting faster, more people are able to stream things, so we will also throw in an option that if we have it available on our website, you can just watch it right from your computer. Just like YouTube style, you can watch the video. I mean, they were kind of compressed and kind of shitty, but you had the option. So, at that point, when they started segueing into doing the stuff online, Blockbuster was already... They were only trying to catch up to the through the mail thing. Mm-hmm. So Blockbuster was like, okay, well, if Netflix is so good because they're delivering DVDs through the mail, we're going to do it too. And Netflix is like, we're past that. We're moved on to the streaming service. And by the time Blockbuster finally caught up with, like, everything, because I think Blockbuster streaming came out shortly before it went under... Like that, you understand what I'm saying? Like,
oh, yeah.
Like Warner Brothers is doing the same thing. They have the TV properties that they can segue into movies, that they can have that connected universe. But Marvel's saying, we already fucking did it. Like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was when we finally tied TVs to movies. And we did it right. Mm-hmm. So that's like their streaming, where DC is still trying to figure out the shared universe thing for movies. Because Marvel's been doing that shit for years. Like, sure. Having, And now they have... And now not only do they have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter, now they have the Marvel Knights. They have Daredevil. They're going to have... For some reason in my brain, it's next to Penny Lane for some reason. Jessica Jones, Penny Lane. Maybe they have the same cadence in my brain. Or something. That rhymed. I really didn't mean that to. But yeah, so Marvel's way ahead of the curve on that. DC is basically totally slacking, and they should have got on that shit years ago. But they're not going to. And they're going to make the same mistake that they did with Smallville with this new set of movies. In fact, a representative for Supergirl, basically said, like, yeah, Superman's kind of off-camera influencing her in some ways and, like, trying to guide her and stuff. But it's not the movie Superman.
And that's what's bullshit. It's like, fucking stop it.
Yeah.
Like, how... I mean, I'm not confused by it. I understand.
What it's the grim reality of it is that like, there's the movie universe, which is like all Sin City, fucking, dark ass, washed out ass, gritty shit, and then you have the TV shows, which have a bunch of like C tier heroes. Well, not the Flash and not Green Arrow. They were more like B Squad. Mm-hmm. Because they couldn't do the space and the blowing up people's faces and shit. They could, like, shoot arrows and run real fast. But, yeah, and arguably the Speed Force is important, but anyways. So they're just now putting the main characters on TV. But then they're only alluding, like, the TV versions of, like, the A-Team Justice League are just off in the background somewhere. Like, they will never be shown. Like, if there was a Wikipedia where it was like, Superman on Supergirl, it'd just be like the Facebook, like, question mark, gray face. Where it's like, no one knows what he looks like, but we know that he's there somewhere. DC just doesn't want to waste their property on TV. It's like, fuck you.
I think, well, to segue, speaking of late to the streaming service party.
Oh, gross.
Showtime is going to have a monthly fee streaming service available here before too long. You can read into it. You're going to have to hear. Yeah.
So CBS owns Showtime? Oh, okay.
$10.99.
Oh, no, it's not going to work. These people are inflating the bubble. You're not competing with each other. Okay.
Hey, Showtime is a real strong contender against HBO.
Arguably, it is, because they've recently got a lot of good shows.
Sure,
but here's the problem. I won't go into big diatribe. I'm not trying to cut you off or anything. The problem is that each and every TV station with a couple of good dramas is going to pull the same bullshit, and the consumers are going to fucking hate it. If they keep doing this stuff, HBO Now, how much is that a month?
$14.99.
HBO Now is $14.99. CBS is $10.99. Here's the thing. With cable services, people complain that they can't pick and choose what they want to watch through their cable service. Mm-hmm. So I feel like, in a weird way, it's happening, and it's still not going to work. Because people will get their HBO, and people really only wanted like Netflix and Hulu.
The cost is too much. You can't be spending fucking $10, $15 on a channel. I mean, here's the thing. Guess what, HBO? I mean, I'm sure you thought of this, but like Game of Thrones is almost up. Do you really think that like I'm gonna keep on spending fucking $14.99 per month to have like this service?
It's not sustainable. And here's the problem: the reason those prices are inflated. The reason HBO inflated it is because they know they can get away with $15 a month. Because people will pay $15 a month to watch Game of Thrones.
Listen, HBO's got phenomenal shows. I mean, there's no question about
that. Right. But then like Showtime for $11 a month, and then like probably like Cinemax for like $2 a month. No, but yeah, it's ridiculous. It's not sustainable, and
so I wonder what would be the easiest way to get all of the content. Like, so I'm assuming then this means Amazon Prime, like you don't stream anything, or like from HBO on there. I'm sure.
I don't think so.
So, like,
I think if they ever had HBO shows on there, they probably pulled them by now. That happens on Netflix all the time, too, where like, Showtime will be like, oh, we're taking all our shows back from Netflix because we got our own streaming service.
And that's the thing. It's like, yeah, bullshit. Okay, so, there's Netflix, which is like, $9.99 a month?
Yeah, it's like $10.
$10. Then you have Hulu. Mm-hmm. What's Hulu cost per month?
Like $10 a month, less
than that. Like $10 per month. Okay, so and then with HBO you're up to $35, and with Cinemax you're up to $46, and
you're basically paying cable all over again.
And then if you want what's not on all those things, you want to get who else has a Full Moon Studios? You can go to Full Moon Studios streaming service. I was being more facetious.
There is a full moon streaming service. It's like
is.
$25 a month.
It's absurd.
Yeah, there's no reason it should be that
There's
much.
no way that you could have that many movies
You have
that
to
are
be
of such quality.
You have to be a big horror fan to pay $25 a month to watch it. You could watch all, if you set aside the time, you could watch all the movies on full moon streaming in a month.
Well, right, and that's the thing. So then you'd think, like, now, like, hey, I know that there's a rep for Full Moon Studio streaming service watching the show tonight. Feel free to go into the chat and explain to us.
I think the rep is actually their, like, head. Charles Band.
That's sad.
Charles Band is the head of Full Moon, and he's usually, actually on their YouTube page, he's usually the talking head. Like, you know, because it's Full Moon Studios.
Right.
Like, let's make no illusions about it. Full Moon Studios is famous for a lot of their works, but it is a low-budget B horror movie.
They're not
house.
they're not like strongly respected.
They're respected in their genre, but they're not making money.
Right.
They're not like Fox or anything. Which, you know, I'm not saying anything against them, but they also have monster. They had a series of films where the covers was a monster popping out of a toilet. They also spearheaded the Evil Bong versus the Ginger Dead Man. That's a Full Moon movie.
Wow, so they had...
How about
hold on, wait.
How about Thanksgiving?
Stop. Hold on. Mm-hmm. They had pioneered the Evil Bong franchise. Which, for you guys who don't know, that's about a bong.
It's literally about a bong.
That is evil. And they also pioneered the Ginger Dead Man franchise.
Yep.
Which is Gary Busey, right? Or is it...
Yeah. I mean, it's Gary Busey.
It's Gary Busey. And then they were like...
It's Gary Busey as the gingerbread man.
Right.
But, like, murderous.
Right, a murderous gingerbread man. Known as the Ginger Dead Man.
And then they fought.
And then, well, they said Jason versus Freddy. Fuck that! Evil Bong versus Ginger Dead Man. That's the hot ticket. That's what everyone's asking for. Oh my goodness.
Well, you know, here's the thing. Here are two more points that I just want to make really quick. One of the points is that as far as the costs of these things, the reason HBO now is $15 and the reason that Showtime is $11 is because they're used to getting that cable money. You know how they got that cable money for so many years? It was bundled in. That's how you get away with that shit. That's borderline antitrust. So when people start moving away from cable because there are cheaper alternatives, they want a piece of that, but they want to make they're not going to restructure their business in any way to become viable in a new market. They're going to force their old market on the new market, which obviously isn't going to work. And because they want to make the same amount of money. If HBO is making $1 million, you know, that's a really low number, but
and that's the thing is
if they're making X amount of money,
they don't realize that by making a streaming service that costs less technically than what it would cost as a part of the bundled package or whatever, you're able to access a group of clientele that were not paying you more money for Showtime before.
I played Lemonade Stand.
Right.
I know that when you jack the price of lemonade up to $10 a cup, nobody buys it.
Right.
But then when you drop it down to $1 a cup, a bunch of people buy it. More than if you had charged $10 a cup for it.
Right.
You end up making more money on the dollar cups than you do on the $10 cups.
Right.
Overall.
Because now, yeah, that's the thing. They're like, well, we have, and this is like obviously false, but just for easily, so everyone can think about the numbers easily. Well, we have like 10 million subscribers, and they're all paying us like $12.99 a month to be on the cable service, or like $10.99 for the cable service. That's why we're gonna have to make sure that if we sell it, that those people will if we do it on the streaming service, it's the same cost, because otherwise they're going to go for the cheaper thing. It's like, well, no, because the people who use cable are still the people who are going to use cable.
Yeah.
And, you just open yourself up to a much wider group of people that you can, sell your product to.
Yeah. If you can
it's
sell...
about volume.
Yeah.
Fucking volume.
If you can only sell the service to 2 people for $11, but then you had the chance to sell to 4 people for $6...
Right.
You're making more money. Not by a huge margin, but spread that over a bajillion people. That's one of the biggest things that always irks me is that they're always trying to force the old system on the new system somehow.
Right.
It's like CDs. Remember when CDs were like $20 a fucking piece? I mean, they still kind of are. They're pretty close to that.
A lot of them.
And nobody's buying CDs, Even digital, most of the time it's like $10 for an album. It's $1 a song.
Right.
But you're not cutting CDs. There's a negligible cost versus printing a CD as there is to digitally distributing. Even ebooks. You don't have to print or bind anything. You just send a file my way. Have a server up. That doesn't cost nearly as much. But yeah, that's the one thing. And the other thing is that the other point I wanted to make really quick is that regardless of all that shit, the free market will decide. And that's the cool thing, because with cable, the free market didn't get to decide. You would have to call up Charter and be like, why can't I just get these shows or these channels? And Charter would laugh in your fucking face. But now that HBO has their own service, Showtime has their own service, fucking everybody's got their own service now, people are going to decide based on the shows they want to watch. Like you said, when Game of Thrones is over, how many people are going to stay with HBO? HBO will be forced to make good shows.
Sure.
It's a free market deciding. I mean, and you see like Kickstarters or Patreons where people are like, here's a cool thing. You have these, we talked about it a while ago about like the different video game developers leaving their respective companies and making knockoffs of their own games.
Right.
And they're making a bunch of money because popularly people are deciding with their dollars these days. It's an excellent, it's a great time to be a consumer of popular culture, to be honest.
Right. So hopefully, people will say enough's enough. A lot with some of the streaming services. I know I can't afford a bunch of streaming services that are costing me $10, $15 a month.
Absolutely.
And I don't think most people can. So
let's check the chat really quick.
Sure. My mom has arrived in the chat. Well, hello, Mom. Say hi to my mom, Jake.
Oh, hey.
Jeez, oh Pete's. Look at this guy.
I'm
Evil Bong is so stupid, it's funny. I believe that. I believe that.
Well, Full Moon is, they did make the Puppet Master series, and some could be considered ridiculous, some of them are kind of serious. I feel like horror rides the line on comedy. Obviously, with an Evil Bong, that's what they're going for. But.
We're in kind of a sad time, guys. Here's why. Now we're starting to... not only are a lot of our, yesterday action heroes starting to show their age, but now as the movies are, the studios are starting to say, hey, it's been a while since someone made Big Trouble in Little China, and apparently Dwayne Johnson is using some of the juice he got here for the success of San Andreas to be in negotiations to start the remake.
Is that successful? I haven't heard.
Apparently.
Jamie went to see it, and that's all I've heard of it.
Well, according to Variety, following the box office success of San Andreas...
Well, box office success.
Star Dwayne Johnson... it's profitable.
It's profitable. Right. No, I get that part.
Is in negotiations to star in the remake of the 80s cult classic Big Trouble in Little China. The original starred, of course, Kurt Russell. And that makes me sad. Kurt Russell movies are being remade now. I mean, they sort of did it with The Thing, but they were it was a prequel. So, it led right into the one, it didn't replace them. I've heard a lot of rumblings of a new Escape from New York coming down the pipe. Oh.
Well, they did a new Escape from New York. It was Escape from Space. It was called Lockout.
Yeah, so that's...
It wasn't that bad.
Well, I heard, but the thing about that
You
was
haven't
is
seen
that I have not seen that
You
yet.
haven't seen Lockout.
I haven't seen Lockout.
It is.
yet.
It is. Guy Pearce.
Yeah.
Knocks it out of the park. He's obviously not Snake Plissken, but as kind of a knockoff Snake Plissken character for this film,
He's all right.
he nails it. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. I enjoyed Lockout a lot.
Well, okay, so that's the thing is that they did Escape from New York, and then they did Escape from L.A. Which, here's the thing, I grew up right when that was coming out.
Yeah.
I was a moviegoer, a teenage young man, and I didn't think it was that bad at the time.
Yeah.
Escape from LA. A lot of people like to hate on Escape from LA because it was kind of a retread.
I still enjoy it, but it's probably nostalgia.
It was a serious retread. I mean, there's
Right.
no question about that. It's literally
It's literally the same
you're
plot.
going to an island and it's a prison,
You have to play basketball.
and you have to that
You have to surf.
with Peter Fonda.
A lot of because it's LA, he's got to surf. Because it's LA, he goes, you gotta play basketball.
Bruce Campbell played the Surgeon General
Yeah.
of Beverly Hills, who kidnapped people off. He was like a warlord who kidnapped people off the street and performed grotesque surgeries on them.
The funny thing is that his face in that movie is what you imagine he looks like in your mind. Does that make sense?
Sure. No, but I mean that's the thing. That was a sweet ass character.
Yeah.
Surgeon General of Beverly Hills. Oh man. But
Yeah, Bruce Campbell's face in that movie looks like Bruce Campbell's face in your mind.
But they're remaking Big Trouble in Little China. That makes me sad. Maybe it'll be alright. I don't know, but probably not.
Yeah. And Big Trouble in Little China is an awesome movie, and here's the other thing, remakes will never ruin the original. No one remembers, I remember right before it came out, and then right after it came out, Total Recall, everyone hated it. They hated it before it came out, they hated it after it came out. Never saw it myself. Even if I did, it wouldn't ruin the original for me. I got the hiccups.
What?
I know, right? But yeah, so don't let that, the new Ninja Turtles movie, I haven't seen that either.
Mm-hmm.
Although I've read a couple articles recently where they're like, the cartoon wasn't that good. You know that, right?
The cartoon really is not that good.
No, it's not that good.
There
are a lot of things that are good that are still good.
Well, there was a time when this is back when there was a lot of policing on how much action there really was in kids' cartoons.
You can't punch anybody. You can't kill anybody. You can't have any of your good characters do this or that.
Yeah, well, so you'd have
who's presiding over this? Do you have to have the X-Men and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants have a pillow fight every time they?
Oh my
Now
God.
it's time to destroy you. This pillow is filled with extra down. Ha ha ha.
So that's the thing is that they were all playing with kids' gloves. Even think of G.I. Joe, where they're constantly firing laser guns at one another.
And they weren't those were stun lasers.
Those were stun lasers.
They
would
were
blow
stun
up,
for organic, but they would blow up.
They'd blow up
machines.
vehicles all the time. And didn't you think it was weird when you were growing up watching it that you would always see
Somebody would fly from the vehicle and then get up from the ground oh.
or
He's still alive.
or if it's an aerial vehicle, they'd hit the ejection. So
And
then
they
they parachute away. Come on! Did you see how that aerial dominator exploded into a million pieces in the air?
Wasn't there
I just presumed that was the name of a G.I. Joe Cobra.
The aerial pursuiter?
The aerial dominator?
Oh, the aerial dominator.
There's definitely a Cobra vehicle called the aerial dominator.
There has to be. Yeah, there was that episode of Community where Joel McHale's character gets stuck in his own head. He's in a whiskey coma, I guess.
Mm.
And he thinks he's in G.I. Joe. And it's actually G.I. Joe, it's not a knockoff.
Right.
And I think he kills Destro?
Yeah.
By shooting, he blows up Destro's helicopter, and he pops out and pulls the parachute, and he's like, I'll get you next time. And then he shoots his parachute, and he falls to the ground and dies. And everybody's like, whoa,
yeah.
you can't do that.
Yeah.
It's why can't I?
But like with the Turtles, yeah, no. So I mean, guys, here's the thing: half of the Turtles had cutting, stabbing weapons.
Yeah. Even the ones with blunt weapons, you can bash somebody's skull in with a stick.
Okay, like seriously. Okay, so like the bow was almost like the least deadly of them, but even that was crazy. Like a nunchaku, like you pummel dudes to death with a nunchaku.
You could kill. These are weapons of destruction. You can kill people with them,
right? And so it was ridiculous that they were like somehow like Leo was swinging his swords, and it's just like like knocking.
Was he doing them sideways, like hitting them with the flag?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, why are you? What are you doing? But what's worse is that like the Ninja Turtle movies, guys. If you think that first off, let me say, Ninja Turtles 1, the first one.
Was kind of serious.
Not bad. It
was
still kind of holds up.
It wasn't really based. It was like a amalgamation of like the cartoon and the comic book.
Sure.
They tried to go for and it's interesting.
Halfway between.
If you look into the history about that, there were two creators on the movie. One of which who wanted to go the serious Eastman and Laird route, and another one who wanted to go for the cartoon route. So that's why you have that mix in there. There are a few movies like that.
It was pretty successful, but they got a lot of bad press apparently because of all the violence in the first one. So if you watch the second one,
it's neutered.
Oh my! It's completely fucked up, guys. Like you're thinking in your head, your kid brain is like, yeah, but it had all the mutagen and had Toka and Razor. Yeah. And then Shredder turned into Super Shredder at the end, and he was really big, tough, and mean. And then you have to say to your kid brain, you don't know what you're talking about. That was all terrible. Because it was. And, you have like Michelangelo fighting like foot soldiers with like a yo-yo.
That was the Ninja Rap one. And a lot of people forget that the Ninja Rap was in the second one, not the first one.
I remember at one point they were fighting in the beginning at like a mall or something, and like one of them ends up in probably Michelangelo, because I just always imagine him doing all the stupidest shit. Ended up in like a sausage stand and like had these like pepperonis, that he was like beating them up. Like, seriously, like you're beating people up with pepperonis now.
Or
get fucking real. Like I know you're literally a Ninja Turtle, but I mean someone's got to take this seriously.
Yeah. So the originals weren't exactly high caliber. And then people are like, "Oh, Michael Bay shit on my childhood." It's like your childhood wasn't that good to begin with, bro. If you're gauging your childhood on things that like pop culture you consumed when you were younger, it was not that great to begin with.
In other news, according to Collider, Samuel L. Jackson says he wants to extend his Marvel contract.
He's not in Civil War.
Somehow isn't in Civil War.
Well, let's be fair, he wasn't in Civil War in the comic book.
That's true. He was supposed to be dead, though.
Right. You think they should have extended from spoilers if you haven't seen Captain America 2, so maybe pause it for a couple seconds. Do you think they should have kept him dead?
Well, to make everything work the way that it did then is that you would have had to either have like Maria Hill be the one who shows up with a helicarrier. Spoilers.
Yeah, I suppose.
So that doesn't quite work.
I feel like if you move some things around, though, it wouldn't.
And Joss Whedon has a serious dissatisfaction with Phil Coulson being alive, which, if you didn't know, I don't know if I mentioned this to you, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it was revealed that Phil Coulson was the one who stowed away or stored a helicarrier away secretly and got it repaired and ready to go and so forth, and that it was like a part of like a special protocol in case something really fucked up happened, and that's why Colonel Fury was able to get that helicarrier for the end sequence of the Avengers 2. Okay. It was because of Phil Coulson. And because that's what happened in the TV show, you have to accept that that's what happened in the canon. But Joss Whedon has famously gone out of his way to say several times that he doesn't think Phil Coulson should have been brought back from dead because it lessens the impact. And it's like, well, no. I mean, I see what you're saying, Joss, and I agree that certain people have to die, but I guess I don't know why you're like adamant that it has to be this character who never existed in the Marvel Universe. Characters that people know about, actual like name heroes Like, if you want to have death to have an impact, then it should be one of them that dies and stays dead instead of some, At the time, like, he was a minor character, like in Iron Man, and then they were like, well, we need another S.H.I.E.L.D. agent again in this movie. It's like, oh, let's use that guy again.
Yeah, he was the connecting factor for all the movies, so it was kind of.
But that wasn't planned out ahead of time.
No. Well, here's the thing. Here's my argument. And, constantly, if you know about comic books, if you know anybody who talks about comic books, you know that people get written back into comic books all the time. There's only a handful of people who never did, and even then, like, Bucky was a big one. There's a lot of other ones. But here's the thing. When people die in the comics, it's not the overall thing. Let's be entirely honest. Everything in the comic books goes like series to series, comic book to comic book, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if a character dies in a series and it becomes like a symbolic of that series, then does it actually take that away when they come back to life later?
No.
It doesn't. Phil Coulson dying in the Avengers is still as impactful as it was the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least it was impactful the first time. And yeah, he came back to life, but that was the beginning of a new story. You know? If you kept everyone dead in comic books, then there wouldn't be anyone alive in comic books. And to be entirely honest, I'm okay with that. The problem is maybe Joss Whedon is looking at the whole thing as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
When Coulson died in the Avengers, it was important. But then he came back to life, and that was important for S.H.I.E.L.D. Without Coulson, you don't have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Joss Whedon just likes killing characters.
Joss Whedon understands the importance of killing characters, but think about this. You know how everybody wanted Firefly back, right?
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck was he going to do that after Serenity?
Well...
Let's be entirely honest. All these characters people grew to know and love, a handful of them die in the movie...
Right, so you have to...
And he's brought characters back in Buffy and all that. Like a million times.
Well, that's when you have Washa's heretofore unmentioned twin brother. Theodore Washburn. I don't know,
Yeah, it's a stupid argument to say that bringing a character back lessens their death in the first place. If it had an impact in the first story that they died... it's not going to take away from it when they come back to life. Unless they, go back in time at the same time and then stop themselves from getting killed or something. They're not really fucking with it. In the S.H.I.E.L.D. one, that was a huge pull of the first season, was how is he still alive?
Mm-hmm.
That in fact, that increased the value of the storyline in the first
mystery.
season.
Here's a mystery.
Yeah. How is he still fucking alive? It made it worth it. So, it made the movie worth it near the end. It made the show worth it in the beginning. You can't look at the whole thing and say, oh, he's alive now, so it doesn't fucking matter if he died. That's stupid.
Yeah, that doesn't... that dog don't hunt.
That's just not how it works.
But, on that note, it is 11:06. So I think we're going to call it at that. Mom, I have not seen Suffragette, the trailer.
Can we talk about Fallout 4 really quick? Because I teased it earlier.
You did tease it earlier. I just wanted to know, have you seen the Suffragette trailer?
No.
I haven't either. I'll check it out.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
And we'll talk about it next week. Pester us, remind us on the event page.
Get on Jake and Trev Review Everything.
Leave a comment.
Get
say,
on Peanut Butter Disaster.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think of this thing? I want to know.
Yeah, if you want to know what we think about stuff, go to the Peanut Butter Disaster website, or go to the Peanut Butter Disaster Facebook page. We're all over the internet. We are connected to all of those places. Tweet us at JandTRE. That's our Twitter. There's no .com or anything. I was making room for that.
Jake, I saw a new piece of Fallout art today. Mm-hmm. Fallout 4 confirmed.
Yeah.
But wait, actually it really is. Fallout 4 confirmed this time.
No, the interesting thing about it is that it's set in Boston.
Uh-huh. That's confirmed?
Yeah.
Ooh, so it's the Commonwealth.
Probably. If that's part of the... I don't remember the expanded...
Well, if you follow the art of the replicated man quest line in Fallout 3,
Okay.
There's
the robot guy.
The robot guy, right? Well, they were from the Commonwealth, and he was built at a place called the Institute. And so the thought is that the Commonwealth is the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and that the Institute is the remains of MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
Fancy.
And from some of the trailer stuff, it looked like it was a much more advanced city area than the Wasteland. There was a dirigible. I saw it.
Yeah.
It was a goddamn airship.
Yeah, go to I think it's like Bethesda.fallout. But I don't know.
Probably
Just
go
Google,
to fallout4.com.
Literally Google Fallout 4 and you'll find it.
I'm really hoping my PC is going to be up to snuff because I don't have a next gen console. This one.
I'm thinking this fall or close to Christmas when the Steam boxes start dropping. Mm-hmm. Might be worth it to get one. I don't know.
Might be.
But the things I was excited about. Somebody said the dog was dog meat, and I was like, why would that even fucking make sense?
Well,
I get it, it's a German
the dog is always dog meat.
It's not though.
I know, but the dog is always dog meat. Like the dog in what is it? The fuck am I thinking? Oh yeah, in Fallout 3 is dog meat, and the dog in Fallout 1 is dog meat. It's not the same dog meat, but the dog is always dog meat.
I suppose. They added 10 to 101 to make it 111, which I found interesting. Mm-hmm. The one most... Okay, and they have vertibirds, which is sweet. If they actually have driving or flying portions, I would enjoy that. A lot of fucking Fallout lifers got really pissed about that. Like, I don't want to drive around. It's like, you don't have to. They're not going to force you to drive. Maybe if there's a section where it's like, get in the car and drive. But yeah, Fallout's always been really liberal about letting you do whatever the fuck you want. You don't have to drive.
Listen, okay. I understand that up to this point, for vehicles, land vehicles especially, haven't been a major thing.
But they exist.
They exist, and more to the point, any society that's trying to do anything to better itself is going to try to make vehicles to make their jobs and lives easier.
Yeah. And the Enclave, the Brotherhood of Steel, they've had vertibirds work.
Right. That's the thing that's happened before.
Yeah.
And,
they had a giant fucking robot.
I was about to say, yeah, they had Liberty Prime, okay? So, let's not say this... So, I mean, it's something that we haven't had up to this point, but it's something that was kind of like a logical thing.
I think, yeah. I think the biggest thing for me is the intros in the last two games have not been that great. For me, I guess. Mm-hmm. New Vegas kind of kicks it off because you get shot in the head and then somebody digs you up and then you kind of just go on your way from there. In 3, it was a little longer and more boring to me because you didn't really get to do all the exciting Fallout stuff until you got out of the fucking vault. Mm-hmm. In this one, I really like that the trailer is hinting that the intro sequence, and you can quote me on this because I'm like 60% sure that I'm right.
Okay.
Is that the intro sequence is going to be you as a character from the bombs dropping. And you're going to be hearing about the bombs dropping, and then you're going to be running down the street with everybody else running down the street. There's a vault right near you. You're going to get there, but then they're going to close the doors. It's going to be too late, and you will die. But then it'll be 200 years later, and then, then you're born in that vault, or you come out of the vault, or whatever.
Sure.
I think that would be a sweet sequence. I think the resources, let's be honest, in 3, and New Vegas was an entirely different storyline, so in 3, they didn't really have the resources to be let's make an entire... They made a neighborhood, and that was it.
Right.
And that was a virtual reality one. But from a storytelling perspective, I think... that's part of Fallout, is you're wandering around, you're looking at people's destroyed shit. It would be really interesting to see
what
that,
it was like before it was destroyed.
Yeah, because you get hints here and there, you read stuff on computers,
well, you
read
some
stuff
of that in the trailer, and I think that might be hopefully indicative of
They wouldn't
gameplay.
just make that for the trailer, because that's all in-game footage, by the way.
What?
Yeah, that's all next gen
Shut
in-game
the-
footage.
shut-
I'm not
Shut the
kidding.
front door.
I'm not kidding. That's all that was. They
No.
say it on their website. It was made using in-game assets.
No.
Yep.
No way.
Have you seen some of the new next gen stuff?
Listen, man, I've seen some things. Okay, I've shooped a lot of whoops in my time. All right, so I guess I like. Go ask your Jim Sterling if you can always trust what's claimed to be pre-rendered or non-pre-rendered footage.
Here's the
I should
thing.
say.
Here's the thing. It's probably polished. They probably did a lot of animation that's not going to be in the finished thing, but it's all done. Like all those settings that they show you, that's what it looks like in game. Maybe not as polished. There's probably less polygons or whatever. I don't know what. There's probably less burst processing or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Blast processing.
Yeah,
Sega Genesis.
Yeah, they're probably. It's probably not going to look that good while you're playing, but all of the stuff that they showed in the trailer is in the game. It's not; those were not pre-rendered cutscenes, like completely made from scratch for the trailer. That was all assets used in game. And yeah, I mean, obviously, like with what was the hacking game, like Watch Dogs, where they were like, "Oh, this is in game." Yeah, they were lying through their fucking teeth. There's no way that.
Well, yeah, but this is Bethesda, so
right.
Hopefully, they won't have to deal with that.
And it's next gen too, so. Which is kind of disappointing. I guess I'm going to have to get either a good computer or a PS4. Fuck Xbox One. You heard it here. If you've watched this long, you deserve to hear it.
You heard it here first.
Fuck Xbox One.
Well, that'll about do it for Jake and Trev Live. I'm Trev.
I'm Jake.
And thanks for watching, you guys.
Peace. Peace out.